Chapter 4. Now that I had my cost for the ingredient list, I was feeling more confident. I showed it to my grandpa that night. "Well done, Kat," he said. "You're getting the hang of being a business owner." "Are you ready for the next important number?" he asked. "Sure," I said. "Let's compare your numbers to how much the cafe is going to pay you for each brownie," he encouraged. I told him that Mrs. Smith said the cafe was going to buy each brownie from me for 50 cents each. "My total cost for all the ingredients is $164.59, I said. I wrote down, total cost of ingredients, $164.59. 42 batches times 12 bars per pan is 504 bars. Then I divided my cost of $164.59 by the number of bars, which is 504, and that equals 33 cents per bar. "Excellent," Grandpa said. "Mr. Adams is going to pay you 50 cents per brownie. How much profit will you make?" he asked. I did the math. 50 cents minus 33 cents equals 17 cents profit per bar. It wasn't a 50% profit, but it was a good start, I thought to myself. "Are there any other costs for the brownies?" he asked. "Let me think," I said. "I need to figure out a few things like which ovens to use. I also need a few people to help me and figure out how to deliver the bars to the cafe." So I started on those items next. That Wednesday at Winter, we had a Chinnekins rehearsal. We were working on 2 new songs for our holiday show in December. It was odd to be singing Christmas songs before Halloween, but we wanted to have our routine memorized and our costumes ready early. We decided to do a medley of 3 songs. We started off as 4 elves, became 4 reindeer, and ended up as 4 angels. My mom gave us some brown felt and we sat around the basement cutting out our antlers. "How's the dessert business, Kat?" Nick asked. "Yeah, I can't wait to come over and get some samples while you're baking," said Max. "Well," I said, "I named my business Kat's Twinkle Bars. I also figured out how much it will cost to make 42 batches of bars. I just don't know how I'm going to get them all cooked, cooled, wrapped up, and delivered on time," I said. "I made a batch this morning to practice my recipe. It takes me 30 minutes to make them, 30 minutes to bake them, and then they need at least an hour to cool before I can even think of wrapping them. I'm worried about how to get them all done on time." "You should try the system of mass production that was used by Henry Ford when he started building cars." All 3 of us stopped and looked up at Max. "What are you talking about?" I asked. "In my after-school Boy Scout troop on Mondays, we are building model cars," he said. "It was taking too long to get them done during our meetings, so our scout leader told us about Henry Ford. He was the man who started building cars faster than any others because he broke the process down to specific jobs for each of the workers. The workers got really good at their jobs, so they got them done more efficiently. There are 10 of us in the scout troop," he continued. "We decided to break the car building process down into 10 different steps. We each put our car in a shoebox with our name on it and then put the boxes in a big bag. One guy takes them all home each night. The first was Tom. He was a little ahead of the rest of us and had figured out the knack of snapping them into place. He took them home Monday night and brought them all back to school on Tuesday. Aaron took them home on Tuesday and is putting all the decals on the sides. I get them on Saturday and I'm going to install the tires. I already took the hubs and wheels home and glued them together. I can pop each tire on in about an hour on Saturday. By our Monday meeting, they will be almost done." Emma and I glanced at each other. "That sounds great, Max, but how do we apply mass production to pumpkin bars? We can't each take home a few ingredients," I said. "Well, first you need a workforce, or at least more than one person to help make the bars," said Max. "I'll help," said Emma. "Me too," said Nick, "as long as I can eat the bad ones." I laughed. "Hopefully there won't be many bad ones, but maybe we can make a few extra batches so you could each have some to eat yourselves." They all agreed to help, so we devised a plan. We each have one oven at home. We divided 42 batches by the 4 of us, but that wasn't an even number, so increased our batches to 44 and calculated it would be simpler if we each made 11 batches. By making 44 total batches, that would have 2 extra batches for any problems that might arise or to use as extras for my friends to take home when we were done. I adjusted my ingredient list to account for the new quantities. My new cost of goods sold for 44 batches would be $172.67. I was still only selling Mr. Adams 500 bars since we were keeping some as extra. I divided $172.67 by 500, which made the total cost of each bar 34 cents. I learned from my dad that this was called a variable cost, since the cost would change depending on how many bars I made. In this case, it was totally worth the cost of 2 extra batches to have so much help. My friends and I also realized it would go a lot faster if we each made 2 batches of brownies at once. We each had bowls in our kitchen large enough to mix up a double batch, and then we could pour the batter into 2 pans. I asked them to check to see if they each had 2 13x9 pans in their kitchen. If not, I would borrow pans from my grandparents or other neighbors. We agreed to divide into 2 teams, Nick and Max and me and Emma. Nick and Max would make a first double batch at Nick's house. While the bars were cooling off, they would go to Max's house and make a second batch. While the second batch was cooling, they would go back to Nick's and cut the bars into sections, wrap up the individual brownies, and make a new batch. Emma and I would do the same. We would be efficient and have fun helping each other. Fortunately, Halloween was on a Sunday this year. We could make all the bars on Saturday and deliver them on Sunday morning. I was getting excited. My business was starting to take shape, but I still had one big obstacle and one big surprise coming my way.